Good morning, guys. We just stopped to pick up some coffee. Can't go anywhere without coffee. I don't know about you, but I am not functional in the morning before I get my coffee. We're on the way. We're taking the scenic route because there's no paved roads to get to where we're going. So come along. We're gonna see some nice stuff today. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It looks like we've reached the end of the road. We're on our way to another amazing location where we're gonna see one of my favorite giant cacti, some beautiful old redheads called cactus Steinacea pilosus. Yes, pilosus. And they're right over there in that mountain. But as you can see, there's sort of a river in the way. Last time I was here, I was able to just sort of hop across these rocks here, but the river's a little bit wider, and last time I also fell and got my foot wet. So we're gonna try to avoid the same mistakes this time, and we're gonna go around sort of the scenic route. There's no roads going to where we're going, but that's all right. That never stopped us before. So come along. We're also gonna have a little surprise for you. I hope we can find them. Last time it was a bit difficult. There's also Ariocarpus growing on this mountain, and also a couple of other things that I don't wanna mention just in case we don't find them. So welcome back, strap in. Let's go see some cacti. Found our first cactus of real interest, and I don't mean any disrespect to all the opuntioids that we saw on the way up here, but I'm not a big fan of opuntias. They have destroyed my life many times with their glaucids. They're a nightmare. I mean, they're cool to look at from a distance, but they're not really my interest. But this, on the other hand, is a Cactus rinconensis, and not only is it an interesting species, but it's in amazing shape. It has barely any signs of stress, but it has just a little hint of the purple hue that's like a positive signal for stress. So even though it is a little bit stressed, you can tell that the skin is flawless, and it's got a little bit of shade here, and it has a prime location to receive just a little bit of sunlight in the afternoons, a little bit of sunlight in the mornings, and just enough light shade from the nurse plants around it to keep it in very good shape. Hopefully we'll find some bigger ones, but last time I was in this mountain, I didn't see any of these, so I really wanted to capture this one just in case we're not able to find any other ones. I love these, they're amazing, and I'm glad that they're still around here. Let's keep going. Oh, things are getting interesting. Look at this chunker. This is another Cactus, much more mature. You can see the signs of aging. And this one's a little more stressed. It's obviously wide in the open. It has no shade. But man, it looks beautiful. Look at that thing. Oh man, there's another one. They're everywhere. I found another one. Wow. I guess we found the Cactus population. Whenever I revisit an ecosystem that I've been to in the past, I always try to approach the mountain or the hike from a new angle to hopefully try to find some new things along the way. And on this particular trip, we did manage to find the Cactus, which was pretty amazing, but we also ended up getting lost, and what should have taken 30 minutes ended up being a 3-hour hike. But hey, all in a day's work, right? Alright guys, we're starting to get close to the interesting part. We're about 6,000 feet in elevation, and we found their first little ferocactus, Steinacea pilosus. This is only maybe a seedling, not really a seedling, it's pretty big. This plant is maybe about 4 or 5, maybe up to 10 years old. As I've said before, it's really hard to date a plant in habitat because it's impossible to sort of predict how fast or slow they're growing. It really depends on the rain. Whenever it doesn't rain, they just stop growing. So this is a good sign. We're headed in the right direction, and we're gonna keep going down this mountain where I know the population of the really big guys is, and hopefully we'll be able to find them. All these plants are wide awake now. It's been raining and everything is green. When I came here last time, it was total drought. Everything was dry. None of the leaves on these guys were growing. And everything just looks like an entirely different landscape. It's kind of difficult for me to find the same location I was in last time, just because I can't find the plants or the reference points that I had. But that's part of cactusing. It's part of the fun, is seeing this habitat as a whole entire new world, basically, that I can barely recognize, because it's wide awake and it's actively growing. All the plants are completely out of dormancy. And if we're lucky, some of the huge ferocactus that we're about to see are hopefully in bloom. If we're lucky, they'll be also in fruit, like we found some cactus with fruit and seed. But let's keep going, we're almost there. Wow, we have finally arrived. Look how big these things are. They're taller than me. Each one of these heads could easily be 50, 60, or 70 years old, and the tall one could be up to 100 years old. It's crazy that something can live to be this old. And this is why it's important for us to care for these things and help preservation, because these things need to stick around. I mean, they're magnificent. Just look at how they live up here. The strongest wind in the sun. Right now the sun is not so intense because of the season, but usually this face of the cliff is completely hit by the sun since really early morning all the way to the afternoon, and these guys are just loving it. It's really interesting that on the other side of the mountain we saw Thylacactus, only Thylacactus, some Mammillaria, but as soon as we started coming to the face of the mountain that's hit by the sun the most, we started seeing these beautiful ferocactus, Steinacea pilosus. This species of ferocactus is still quite common out in the field. Luckily, their massive size makes it more difficult for cactus poachers to take them away from their ecosystem once they reach a certain age. And I say difficult because it's certainly not impossible, as some of these plants are still unfortunately falling prey to the habitat cactus trade. Luckily, their numbers in the wild are set to reach 1 million individuals scattered throughout 6 states in the country of Mexico, including this one, the state of Coahuila, and the neighboring state of Nuevo León, where we shot our last video about Aztecan reiteri. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure to check that out. These plants are readily found in cultivation, where they grow much more rapidly than their counterparts found in habitat due to the more favorable growing conditions. Yeah, man, what a sight to see. This is just incredible. I hope you guys are enjoying these adventures as much as I am. I am completely blown away. I love coming back to see this old friend. This is the second time I come see it, and I'm sure I'm gonna be back. We're gonna have to start heading out soon because the light is starting to be not so great, and we have a 2.5 hour drive down to Nuevo León so we can see some Astiquium. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit that subscribe button. You're not gonna wanna miss the new ones coming up. What else can I say? I'm at a loss for words. We've been looking for these guys for like 2 hours. We approached the mountain from the other end by error, so it took us a little while longer than it should have, but we're finally here, and I'm very happy that we came to see this big guy. See you guys in the next episode.